Hello, hello. In the last video, we looked at Google Search Console's performance report and we looked at the exact position that your website is ranking for every keyword that your website has shown up in the search results for a real person, and tells you approximately, the average of where your site shows up in every query. Super powerful information, but I'm hoping that if you're following along with this, the next thing that you're thinking is, okay, but how many of those people actually went to my website? So that's what we're going to be talking about today. And I smartly decided to move myself up to this corner instead. I rewatched the last video, and I was like, oh, I'm not actually covering up anything, but I could have been. So my apologies for that. So we have this average position. That was what I had you guys click on in yesterday's video. We're going to come back over here and we're going to click on total clicks. And here's where you can see not just what position are you in, but how many people actually clicked for every single keyword. And this is so helpful for not just knowing, what's the position that you're in, but actually how much traffic are you getting for every keyword on your site. So I was looking earlier at that Squarespace SEO tips where I was showing up in 36th or 37th or 40th position, and still somebody clicked on it. And if I wanted to, I could come back up to this chart and figure out exactly what position I was in when that person clicked, but you can go as deep into this information as you want to. That's your choice. Podcast transcript SEO is one of my top performing keywords. No surprise, because I'm showing up number 5 for that as opposed to being 10, 13, 20, 80 apparently for Squarespace SEO. I'll take it. That's a branded search term and I'll take it. How to use Google Trends for SEO. Who is that person who clicked through to the 12th page of search results to see me? But somebody did. Somebody wasn't getting the information that they needed from that. So you can still get clicks even if you're 50 or 60 showing up in those search results. So don't count those out just because you have a high position. That's, I guess, a low position. If you're on a later page, I would think high position would be 1, but the number's high. It's kind of complex. Now here's where people can really get their mind blown. And we actually in Attract and Activate in my membership, we go through this process together every couple months, because I find that if you don't have a time on your calendar to do this, it kind of always is one of those important but not urgent, the like Eisenhower matrix, important but not urgent tasks, and then it just gets pushed down and down and down your to-do list. We also look at it together so that way I can help people evaluate this. And this is the part that feels most confusing to people who aren't looking at this information every day, and it's your total impressions. So you can see here, the little purple number is your total impressions, and it will show up here. So total impressions, let me just define this and talk to you about it. Total impressions is the number of times that somebody searched for that term and your website showed up in the search results. Total clicks is when those people actually clicked on your website. Total impressions is not the same as search volume. If 500 people search for a term and nobody clicks through to the second page, the number of impressions if your site is on the second page would be 0. Because they didn't click through to the second page. So the total volume of all people searching for a term is volume. That's what we can pull from Keywords Everywhere or Ubersuggest or Google Keyword Planner or any of those keyword research tools. I use SEMrush. So you can get that, you can get that information for what is the overall search volume for a term. Total impressions is the number of people who saw you. And if you're thinking this through, you're like, oh, there's a calculation probably here, which is how many of the people who saw my website actually clicked on my website. And that is this little box that we haven't clicked yet, the average click-through rate. So your click-through rate is just the number of people who went to your website divided by the number of people who saw your website. So my overall, for all those thousands of keywords on my website, 0.3% actually click on my website. And I'm showing you guys mine because this is what I do all day and it's what I've done for years. And I still have a click-through rate of less than 1% on my website. And I'm telling you that and giving you this honest behind the scenes look because most of us have what look like really crappy CTRs, click-through rates, because there's so many keywords. And for probably 90% of our keywords, we don't get any clicks because we're so high we're so deep in the rankings. I'll use deep. That's a much better way to do this, right? So for people who are looking for love at first search, I joked in the last video, yay, I made it #1 for my own business and my own name. But even with my own business name, with my own personal name, I still don't get a 100% click-through rate. And that is okay. It's okay to not have a 100% click-through rate. It's almost impossible to have a 100% click-through rate. Because if you go look for my business, I hope that I have a bunch of other stuff about my business on that page. So you can see my website, sure. You can also see my YouTube channel. You can see my Instagram account. You can see my Facebook page. You can see any mentions about me on other people's podcasts. You can see images. You can see videos, right? Like people might not click on your website and that's normal. So do not panic with these numbers. These are metrics. There is no good. There is no bad. There is only better than yesterday. So this information can set a baseline, a benchmark. I'll say baseline actually, because benchmark would be comparing against others. A baseline of what you have now. And then as you go through and make changes to your website, you can see changes happen in your metrics. Do not panic. Do not say, oh, my SEO is bad. No such thing. Okay. But if I see this go from 60% to 70%, I know that it's improving. If I see this go from 10 to 16%, I know it's improving, right? This is not a good or bad. There is no binary here. This is a do better than you was. Okay. Just another pep talk, SEO pep talk. That's what I should call this. Hashtag SEO pep talk. And you can also see when you look at this, how popular these search terms are. So when you see something like SEO Summer Camp, that's a program that I ran. 18 people searched for that. That's not like, you have to know what SEO Summer Camp is in order to search for it. And if you don't know, it's not like something that people are curious about. It's a branded search term. It's like, it's something that you have to know what it is in order to find it. You have to know that brand name in order to go searching for it. Whereas Squarespace SEO tips, 1,300 people saw me showing up in those search results. And I got one click out of those 1,300 people. Whew, that hurts, right? And that's not even 0.1%. 0.1% is like the lowest number you can get and still have a click. So yeah, I'm in 37th position. Of course, people aren't going to go through and, have an idea about that. So and actually want to click on the 37th search result. They're not going to trust the 37th search result. So I need to find some ways to create more content about Squarespace SEO so that I can get more specific. So what was that one that it was? How to change your meta description in Squarespace? Maybe I'll write that as my next post because I can rank for that. And then I can link it to my overall Squarespace SEO page. So as you are looking at this, first of all, you can get this information and get an idea for not, when people say, I found you on Google, and you're like, oh, what did you find me for? I'm like, I don't remember. It happens all the time, right? Hopefully it happens all the time that people are finding you on Google. Hopefully it will happen even more in the future. But now you have that answer. You can say, well, if that person was looking for this, this is probably what they Googled. You can reverse engineer those leads based on what is showing up in these results. And then you can also get an idea of what would be worth the effort to change based on the fact that I have legit one post on my website about Squarespace and I'm ranking 36 for it. And 1,000 people have looked for it in the past 3 months and seen me. I need to write more about Squarespace. That's what this is telling me. I need to write more about keywords everywhere. I need to write more about, client onboarding checklists, right? Like what are the things? And then there are some where it's like thousands of people are searching for this and none of them are clicking on me. So that can also give you that information about what are these popular terms, what are the things that are working really well for you that would be worth creating more content around or worth changing around that page. So if I have something like this one here, I show up 25, I have 0 clicks. Okay, I need to use the word extension in that blog post, or use the word extension even just in the SEO title of that blog post that I have. And that way, if people are looking for keyword everywhere extension, and my blog post doesn't have the word extension in the SEO title, so it doesn't show up on the search engine results page, it's not only not going to show up well in the position, but people are going to be less likely to click on it because it's not what they were looking for specifically. So I could just go in, change out my SEO title, and potentially rise in the ranks here and improve my click-through rate. So I know that was complex. And I know that if you are just getting started with this, you might not have a ton of keywords. And even if you're like me and you have a ton of keywords, I have 1,000 keywords. It's not a million keywords. I have clients who have 1,000,000 keywords, but you might have, a couple hundred keywords and still not have that many clicks. That's okay, because the clicks that you're getting, if they're for the right things that people are finding you for the right reasons, then you can still get clients from this. And the more you create, the more you use this information to create really great content, the more you'll rise in those ranks, the higher your clicks will be, the more people will find you for it. So using this information to inform what you're going to do next. I have one more video where I'm going to talk through Google Search Console. We're going to look at which pages on your site are performing best in search. And then I'm going to show you in a video how to use this information on your existing content on your site. So stay tuned. I will be back in the next video with that information for you.